relapse and return to the evil that men do. Father God, I pray and ask that you help me to have mercy on others the same way I would want you to have mercy on me. Father God, I also ask that you help me to be quick to forgive and slow to get angry. Amen, amen, amen. These young dudes out here don't respect shit until you put the barrel in their ear and let the text spit. I just might catch a case on my next hit, remove their whole face on some special effect shit. So show respect, Trick, or I'ma have a flashback. Digging through the dresser like fuck it, where my mask at? Then mash back with the banger and damage shit and say fuck everything I learned in anger management. Hop back on some east side managed shit and push a nigga's top back when I let the cannon spit. Start planning shit, premeditation. I'm in love with the streets again, rededication. Casket or cremation when I shoot you down. I was built for the smoke like a hookah lounge. I keep big shit that sound like a bazooka sound, and I shoot quicker than ain't gotta be a hoop around. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride, 3 straps, ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with the 3 straps, ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Gun on me, it ain't never for show, homie. I'm far from a bully, but I'm never a hoe. Get out of line, my Beretta will blow. Real talk, we can take the beef wherever we go. I bring it to your front door like I'm Uber Eats. I guarantee you listen up when this Ruger speaks. Plus I maneuver through these streets like a ghost, and I'm handy with the heat. I cook a nigga like a roast. On me, homie, this is not a boast. I will still come through, boy, and stop a nigga's post. Play him close, man, Eric will ease it. Quickly off the waistband, man, and Eric will squeeze it. Leave you niggas laid out dead or paraplegic. Niggas playing in these streets while I'm very strategic. I come to your house dressed like the gas man, shoot you 9 times, leave you stretched by the trash can. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with the 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. I don't put shit on Facebook, I just holler in person. Put the pistol in your mouth while you're hollering in person. All that shit you kept rehearsing and put on your live, got you clapped with the big 4-5. You bitch nigga, if you tell me to pull up, I'ma do that. That nigga who was whooping first nigga that I shoot at. Ski mask on my face, bystanders be like, who that? I ain't with the talking, bitch boy, I thought you knew that. Leave his brains where my shoe at and bounce like I'm on a trampoline. Leave you laid out nigga like you camping on the scene. If you want something sweet, grab a peach or tangerine. Niggas won't smoke, well fuck it, I'ma let them handle steam. AR with the beam, you see the red dot? We tug on this trigger, nigga, it'll make your head pop. Blood pouring down to your shoes, call it Red Sox. Your brains hanging all over your shoulders like some dreadlocks. Expect the gang of dead off if they ever cross the line. The Lord said in the Bible, oh, revenge is mine. So I'm just trying to find a righteous path between the two. Before I lose control and do the shit I used to do. This being humble shit is new. I'm trying to turn the other cheek, but I ain't never been a bitch, so watch your mouth when you speak. Your mercy's what I seek, so I pray on bended knees. Don't let me get the K with the extended clip and squeeze. Lord, please. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with the 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps.
All right, y'all. Happy Friday afternoon. Happy Friday afternoon. That was my man, 16 to Life, brother Eric. He did 24 years. He did 24 years in the California penal system, and now he's out here trying to do something right with his life. And he's a good brother, man. Good brother. You know what I'm saying? Never ran from his responsibility in the situation that got him in prison. Just trying to help other young cats try to get out of there. And so if you can support the brother, go to his YouTube page, 16 to Life. Or if you want to get some of his gear, I'm gonna wear some of it later. I just haven't picked it up yet, but it's he's got gear, he's got clothes, He's got music. I mean, you can pick up a lot of stuff over there at 16tolife.com. So go check out my man, Brother Eric. All right. How y'all doing this Friday? I'm doing fine. I just wanted to give y'all a short one today. Let me shout out my sister, OG Patrice, and my other sister, Risa Neal. Shout out to y'all. You guys got Patrice to thank for this one. Patrice said, "Hey, brother, why don't you check this one out, man, and see if you guys want to do a little piece on it." I saw it. I said, okay, yeah, definitely. Danique Anthony, haven't seen you in a while, brother. Glad to see you over here. Good day, brother Clarence. Let's talk to Brother Black Lives. Hey, good to see you, brother. Good to see you, man. And Patrice, don't think I didn't see. I saw you all cammed up yesterday. I saw you all cammed up. What's wrong with me, Patrice? One day you got to get all cammed up for me. One day, Patrice. Shout out to Patrice. Brother D in the building, man. Where you been, brother? Good to see you, man. Glad to have you in the building, man, as always. Yeah, Brother D, I haven't seen you in a while, man. Glad you and Danique. I haven't seen y'all in a while, but I'm glad to have y'all here, man. All right, y'all. So let's get the ball on let's get the show on the road here. Okay. So let me ask y'all a question. What is racism? What is racism? What is racism? Well, let's look at the definition of racism. The definition of racism: prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. Okay? Well, that has a behavior with it, right? This racism comes with a behavior most of the time, right? That's how you know somebody's racist, right? I heard my sister, OG Patrice, talking about her and another brother talking about how Chicago is really segregated and has a lot of racial tension there. And I get that. But so sometimes we gotta see how people act before we can really judge whether they are racist or not, or whether they have they're behaving in a racist manner, right? Okay, so let's do this because I know y'all know what I look like, but I want y'all to see this. Now this is a man. I think he's a blogger or a reporter, or he hosts a show. He hosts a podcast for a group called Right Wing Watch. Right Wing Watch. And if you go to their website, it's basically Donald Trumpish type of website, but it's mainly, just keeping it real. If you look at it, it's mostly, it looks like it's an organization designed for Aryans, right? No problem. They got to have a place where they want to meet too, in my opinion. Now, this is my opinion. You know what I'm saying? They should have a place where they can meet and they can discuss issues that pertain to them. I don't have no problem with that. Now, the problem I do have is when they try to put us down. Now, that's where I got the problem. But anyway, let's take a look at. So this host, Patrick Howley, is host this what I want to say podcast, and this is what he had to say. Anthony Mackie was co-hosting. Anthony Mackie, you remember Anthony Mackie from 8 Mile and the Marvel Universe and stuff like that, right? Well, Anthony Mackie, who was invited to come out and co-host the CMT Awards. This is what this man had to say about it. If I can play it. Okay. That's his first little jab, right? So he said, I don't know who this black guy is that's hosting. That's Anthony Mackie, right? OG, OG Patrice said, Brother Clan, jealousy might get you what you want. I hear you, sis. I hear you. I hear you. So now he's saying this is the first shot. Now, mind you, this is only a minute long, but this the first shot is, I don't know who he is, right? Oh, you guys don't have no volume over there? Oh, man. What happened? Uh-oh. You know what? I might have to play it from where you gave it to me from, Patrice, because I downloaded it. Let me play it from where you gave it to me from. Yeah. So so the first shot, the guy says, hey, you know, this is the CMT Awards. What are you doing over here hosting this situation? Right? You don't have to host this situation, right? All right, so let's see here. Boom, boom. That's why you got see, man. You got to do business with people like Patrice, man. They always got their stuff together. Now it's me. I'm the one that's trying to get my stuff together. Okay. Patrice, what happened? I'm gonna play it. Y'all hang in there with me. We're gonna see what's happening here. Okay, let's try it again. And let's see if you guys. I got the volume all the way up. You guys, give me a 1 if you can hear the volume. No volume? Oh shoot! I'm gonna play you this. I'm gonna play you this video. Okay. All right. I'm going to. I'll find it. Let's see. Here we go. All right. Oh no, we're gonna play it. See, they ain't gonna get away with us not playing this one. No, we gonna play it. I'm gonna let y'all hear it. Let y'all see it for yourself. Oh man. Anyway, all right. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Risa. I appreciate you. Thank you, OG Patrice. Oh, we gonna give it to you. I'm gonna play it for you. If I had to go find it, I had to go find it. But here we go. We gonna play it. All right, here we go. Peoples, I wanted to get it before they took it down. Oh, damn it. I think they took it down. Oh, let me see. No, they didn't. All right, here we go. Here we go, y'all. Here we go. Strap in.
This award show was really kind of a train wreck. There was a chick who was co-hosting it, and they said that she tested positive for the Rona. So let's take a look last night.
I know all of you were looking.
I don't know who this black guy is who's hosting it. It's supposed to be country music. No offense. I mean, y'all have hip-hop and basketball. You know what I mean? It's like, just fly with your flock, bro. Not against you, but you're up here being like, the melanated people invented country music.
At the CMT,
we was making country music in Wakanda before Johnny Cash and Merle Haggard done stole the black man's country music. It's like, all right, bro. It's so angry. There were so many black people there, sorry to say, but like so many black celebrities who have nothing to do with country music. And it's like, why? No disrespect to the funky brothers of music. I love Earth, Wind, and Fire, Run DMC, etc. But I mean, like, country music's different Country music's different. It's not Wakanda. This
Hey, country music is different. Did you guys hear it that time? If you didn't hear it, let me know. I'll play it again. I'll probably keep on playing it for a while. All right. Let's get started breaking this down. So let's go from the back to the front. He says country music is different. He said, no offense to the Funky Brothers, but country music is different. What does he mean by different? What does he mean that country music is different? What does he mean by that? Does he mean that for some reason black people have no nothing to do? Oh, thank you, Sister Risa. Appreciate you. Does he think that black people have no reason to be involved in country music? Didn't he hear Charlie Pride? There's a couple other brothers out there that were involved in country music. Or what is he really saying? What is this man really saying? I wonder. What makes country music so different? Does that mean different that black people can be involved in the presentation of the awards? Does that mean that? And why does it have to be Wakanda? Why does it have to be compared with Wakanda? A few black people there? Now, what I want y'all to do is, this man right here that you're looking at on your screen, he comes from a group called rightwingwatch.org. If you go to their website, it's rightwingwatch.org. It's basically an Aryan support network, right? Nothing wrong with that. They should be able to go and huddle up and talk about issues that have something to do with them. It's no problem. Okay, here's the problem. The problem is when they start making it a difficult situation for us to participate in things that have something to do with whatever we want to, especially if they were invited. Anthony Mack and Monica were invited to come down here and participate with this situation. I think that's a very smart thing for the CMT Awards to do, is to try to include more black people, get their base growing. Their base is dying, right? Not a lot of white people interested in country music as much as in the back in the day, right? Shout out to Quantum. Good to see you in the building, sis. Not too many white. The base of country music fans is dwindling, just like the base of Major League Baseball is dwindling. The base of the church is dwindling. They have to go out and start getting more people to get involved, different people to get involved, right? And who buys a lot of music? Black people. Who are like trendsetters? Black people. I mean, we're just telling the truth, right? I don't know why it's like that, but that's the way it is, right? Whenever you see trends out there in fashion, music, dialect, whatever, who's usually at the front of it? It's usually us, right? It's usually us. By the time we see white folks using a phrase or words or phrases that we use, we left it alone by then. We leave it alone by then, right? All right, I want to bring up my sister. She is always out in the streets doing the work that some of us was talking about, but here she is doing it, and she cammed up. I want to make sure it is you. I can see her. I see that pretty smile. All right, come on, let me bring you up, Patrice. What's going on, sis? How you doing?
I'm good, Flo Crans. How you doing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, sis. You sound great. I saw
Happy
you.
Friday.
Happy Friday. I saw you on another stream yesterday, and I said, I was jealous, man. I was like, all right, why they get a cam up? I should at least get one every once in a while, right? I said, man,
Exactly. See, that's why I said Just don't be jelly, because you might just get what you want. You know, my grandkids call it, they don't say jealous, they say jelly. Don't be jelly, man. Don't be jelly, bro. I give you what you want. I ham up for you. You already know that.
You fixed me now. See, you gave it to me, so now I'm good, man. You showed me that pretty smile, so I said, okay, I can relax now. I ain't got to be jelly at somebody else.
You gotta be all jelly.
Patrice, what are we doing here? What's going on here? What's going on with this situation?
Man, listen, when I read it and I saw the video last night, I was like, I got to tell Bro Clarence to get on this one, because, like, I knew that this type of stuff went on still in the industry, and I knew that, especially in country music, predominantly, they think it should only be a white dominant genre. But a lot of people need to know the true history of country music and where country music really come from, right? So, you know, me being in the industry and all, like I said, this dude really, he don't know everything you need to know about country music and the genre and where it started and how it started, that Black people were definitely groundbreaking in the country industry way back when. Country started with a lot of Black artists, which led to blues, which led to, you know, the rhythm and blues, which led to jazz and other things. So I don't know why a lot of times some Caucasian people feel like they're privileged to be the only ones in something or involved in something, or that they should be the only ones to have ownership of something, when it's so much of our history that goes into music that spans from country and western to blues to jazz to R&B to soul to classical. I mean, we cover a wide variety of genre in you know, in the music industry. So when I saw this, and I'm saying it's 2022, and I'm like, and this is still being so prevalent, but surprised but not surprised at the same time, to Bro Clarence. But to know that he blatantly and openly on his platform said things like what he just said in that video, yeah, it was like, nah, this needs to be, more people need to know about this, and it needs to be talked about and discussed amongst our community.
Okay. Now let me ask you, Patrice, do you think that do you think this is something that well, it's obviously derogatory, but do you think it's something that needs to be addressed by our community?
Absolutely. If our community care about our culture, care about the music industry, care, and especially any Black people in the culture that is country music lovers like myself. You know, I come from country, sort of like country blues, but like blues, but it was country too, sort of like your Patsy Clines of blues. And a lot of people, I don't know if they, you know, the younger generation remember Charlie Pride. Charlie Pride was one of the first Black country singers, and he started back, I believe, in the 50s or 60s. So we've all been in that genre. It just not has been as many of us as it should, but a lot of our music was hijacked, if you will, and I'm gonna use that as a nice word. A lot of our music that came from country and blues was hijacked by our white counterparts, okay, and kind of took the wheel and kind of drove off with it and kind of left us in the dust. I mean, from our music to lyrics, I mean, you had people like what's his name, Chuck Berry, fighting because music was stole from him. You had people like a lot of the blues singers, Chuck Berry. There was a couple more back then doing that era that had
Muddy Waters.
Muddy Waters had music, you know, stolen from them or hijacked or confiscated from them and sung by people like Jerry Lee Lewis, like the Beatles, like the Beach Boys. Yeah, so absolutely, it should be discussed.
Yeah. Now here's the thing about that particular situation. Now let me play it again, Patrice, because I want us to hear what he's actually going to say and break it down.
It was really kind of a train wreck. There was a chick who was co-hosting it, and they said that she tested positive for the Rona. So let's take a look. Last night,
I know all of you were looking
I don't know who this black guy is who's hosting it. It's supposed to be country music. No offense. I mean, y'all have hip hop and basketball. You know what I mean? It's like,
wow. Stop it right there.
Fuck, bro. I'm not against you.
All right. What you?
Bro, really? Now, here for him to say, you know, it's okay if you don't know who the black guy is, because we don't know who every Caucasian person is, right? So
Right.
that was okay to say, but to say, oh, y'all got hip hop and R&B, and like, as to say, stay in your own lane. This is not your lane. This is our lane. See, that's what you get from that. At least that's what I took. I don't know if anyone else. To me, that's what I got. I got stay in your own lane with your own genre as black people who can only be in things like R&B and hip hop and blues and jazz. Like, that's y'all lane. Over here, country is our lane. So you stay over there in y'all lane where y'all belong. You know, that's what I got from that, which I was like, dude, like, you have no idea. We are in all genres.
Yeah.
We have our hand in every genre there is in American music.
Well, I think that there's a certain amount of like we were even talking about before, jealousy, with the fact that if you give us enough time with something, we're probably going to dominate it eventually, especially if it's expressive. If it's an expressive thing where you can express yourself through either your body movements or your voice or whatever. If it's very expressive, because we're expressive people, we're probably going to dominate. So I think that the jealousy was, hey, you already took this over. You already took this over. At least that's my opinion. And now you're coming over here. So I think it was like a threat. He looked at it like it was threatening that you were coming over here now and you possibly could take this over. That's what I got from it.
I got that you don't belong over here. This is our genre. Stay in your lane. That's what I got from it. I don't know. Maybe your subscribers in the chat can say what they got out of it. Put a 1 in the chat if you got this is our lane, meaning our Caucasian people lane. You stay in your own lane. Or put 2 if you got what Bro Clarence said, because I got this is our lane, meaning this is white people lane. You stay in your R&B and soul and rap and hip hop lane. That's what I got from it.
Okay, now, did you think that he was? I felt that he was, but I'm asking you, do you feel like he was being insulting to Anthony Mackie and Monica?
I definitely felt like he was being insulting to both of them. And I'm glad that, listen, Monica is a girl from the hood in Atlanta. Right. Listen, and she snapped right back, rightfully so, right? I definitely felt like he, was sidebarring, being throwing a little shade both of their ways. Absolutely.
Okay. And therefore, now he's telling his opinion on what he feels that should be. Well, let's watch the rest of it real quick. Let's watch the rest of it.
But you're up here being like, the melanated people invented country music.
At the CMT,
we was making country music in Wakanda before Johnny Cash and Merle Haggard done stole the black man's country music.
Okay. Now, let's break this down real quick, Patrice. Why was Wakanda referenced in that little diatribe that he had right there?
His way of being condescending.
Okay.
His way of being condescending, as to say, to say what he said about, and that was before the white man stole, that genre is, Wakanda, like making a reference to Wakanda is very condescending for somebody white to reference that in that way. because they know that what Wakanda and the movie Black Panther represented to us and our culture. So he was absolutely being condescending.
Okay, now my question is, why is he being condescending to Anthony Mackie and Monica when they were asked to participate in this situation? Why take it out on him?
Again, it's privilege. He doesn't care that they were being asked or not. It's his privilege that got him the audacity and felt that he had the right to question anything, to question why were they even there, to question the fact that, this is not their genre, they should stay in their lane, and to make such statements that he made. These are things a lot of people, I know you probably have heard, that have went on in the entertainment industry against Black artists and people of color for decades. And to know that it's 2022 and it's still so prevalent rings out and it speaks volumes. He was absolutely being condescending by saying the whole Wakanda thing. Yeah. We know that it represents Black people in our culture. We know that for a fact. We showed up and showed out for Black Panther, as I hope we do in Black Panther too. But yeah, when someone of another color, of a non Black American color say something like that, that's the same thing if we said something regarding their culture as a Black person. It's condescending depending on how you say it and in which the tone you say and the words you use.
Now, I'm glad you said that, Patrice, because, I'm saying, a lot of times people that are not Black, they will think you just, or sometimes even Black people, they will say you're doing this victim Olympics thing. But all you're doing is expressing, hey, that's a condescending situation. And you're just expressing that in an intelligent way. That was good. So they could see that. They could see that. Hold on one second, Patrice. Brother Marcus says, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Let me tell you something about this man. This was a good man. This was a very dear friend of mine. Very dear friend of mine. I lost touch with him after he got like hot in the industry, but very good friend of mine, man. Everything you thought he was even more of a good person, man. I mean, he was a really good dude. And man,
I heard people speak very well of him, even when he got to Howard University. I heard people speak very well of Chadwick Boseman that actually was in his graduating class. And the whole story of how, he was able to go to Howard, and, Denzel through Felicia Rashad through Denzel helped pay for some of his education. It was just an awesome story. But I heard he really was a stand-up guy, all while he was in college after he graduated. I just heard he was that guy for real.
He was all that. I mean, and like I said, y'all know Chadwick. Y'all know Chadwick. I remember Brother Chad, and I remember Brother Chad with the green Honda with the red door. It had that one red door on the driver's side.
Really?
Yeah, I remember that dude, and we used to sit and talk for a long, man. We used to sit and chop it up for so long. But he was a good dude. He was a really good dude. But Patrice, that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story.
You gotta tell that story someday, Brother Clarence.
I'm gonna tell it. I just wanted his family to tell their stories and put out what they wanted out about him before, because I got video of me and him working out together. I got all kind of stuff, but I didn't want to put none of that out because I wanted his family to be able to tell his story. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want people looking at me thinking that, I'm just trying to get likes and views off of him. No, I got a library of stuff about with me and him, but I held it back, and I'm still holding it back. But you know how we are, Patrice. We ain't about all that. We just like, man, I just want you. What I really want you to know is this dude was a good dude. He was a good dude, man. That's what I really want you to know.
That's all that matters. Yeah.
Exactly, right? That's all that matters. All right, Patrice. We're not done yet. We're not done yet, Patrice. We got to see what else this man got to say.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, bro. It's so angry. There were so many Black people there, sorry to say, but like so many Black celebrities who have nothing to do with country music. And it's like, why?
Okay. All right, Patrice. Many times
Yeah, he said so much stuff that is so erroneous. It's so erroneous, right? Like black people have nothing to do with country music.
yeah,
Dude, we are some of the inventors of country music.
right.
Quit playing. Like he got to be every bit of what, maybe in his 30s, 40s. So I don't know if it's above his head or he's too young or he's just ignorant of the fact that black people have a hand in all genres of music that stems back way before he was ever even thought of.
Well,
I,
see, if
mhm.
you go to their website, Patrice, he writes for a website called rightwingwatch.org.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It is basically a right wing organization, Donald Trumpish type of organization, and it's
Mhm.
basically like I was saying before, it's probably a place where Aryan people can kind of get together and talk about the issues. And which me, I don't have no problem with that. Hey, go ahead and talk about your issues and everything. But don't throw spears over here, right? Don't throw those spears over here. So you asked us to the party, we show up, and now you throwing spears at us. Wait a minute, hold on. You asked us to the party. You
Again,
asked.
that's that little thing we call privilege, right? We call white privilege. It's just that and the thing about it is they feel the need to insert themselves in things that they shouldn't. They seem to insert themselves in things that has nothing to do with them. They because they think because of their privilege that they can insert themselves in anything, anytime they want, with anyone, in any whatever the situation is. That's why it's called what it's called, right? And literally, a lot of people do it so naturally, right? And you can tell the way he talks. This is not his first time. You can tell from the
Absolutely.
choice of words he used, he said things like this, or similar to things like this before regarding our culture, our race of people, where he feels that we should fit in and where we don't fit in. You can tell from people that have conversations like this on their platforms, whether they're right winged or whether they're just racist or bigoted people in general, they feel that they have the right to say whatever they want to say, how they want to say it, when they want to say it, and with no repercussions. And the fact of the matter is, if he do his research and his history, he would know that our people and culture have had a hand in all genres of music since probably before he was ever born and thought of.
Yeah.
And it's so ironic that in this day and age, people still have the mindsets that they have regarding when it comes to race and music and race and entertainment, and race and a lot of other things, and then yet they say, now, are they going to say that black people are pulling the race card for this one? Are they going to say that black people are playing the victim for this when we didn't ask for this? We were invited to
Right.
this situation, and then someone do this. See, that right there is what I'm not going to tolerate. I'm not going to tolerate and say it's just black people playing the race card again, or victimhood, or victim Olympics, or whatever they calling it, because every time we're told to let something go, forget something, this or that, they tend to always bring things up to cause us to never let go or forget something. So what they can do is miss me with that bullshit. Okay? They can miss me with that bull, honestly. Because I think when things need to be called out, we should call them out. We should call them out as a culture. We should call them out as a race of people. Now, let me be clear. Will we play the race card when we shouldn't? Absolutely. It's our responsibility to call that out too as well. Because we shouldn't call the race card where it is not necessarily needed, right? But when it needs to be spoken about, when we're being called out by some person that obviously has some racial undertones for our people to tell us things like stay in our lane, basically, and what should be our lane. See, who are you to tell us what our lane should even be? But see, that's the audacity of white privilege.
Yeah.
How dare you tell me what my lane should be?
Right.
And see, and these are the things that we miss a lot of times. We miss the undertones. We miss the underlining suggestive things that they say when they say these things like that to us. And they need to be called out every time.
I agree with you. You know what, Patrice? I don't know. You too young to remember this. There was a movie called Carbon Copy with Denzel Washington and George Segal. There was a movie, and it addressed a lot of these stereotypes, right? Remember when they because his his father, he finds out that he's got a white father, right? And so Denzel Washington finds out he got a white father, and so when the white family finds out that he got a black son, they pretty much disown him. He loses his job, everything. So now they hustling on the street trying to figure out how they're gonna make some money. And so he said he saw these two dudes playing basketball. He said, "Oh man, my son is black. We can go in there, we can get him." And so he never asked Denzel, "Have you ever played basketball before, or are you any good?" He just assumed, "Hey, you're black, you play basketball, this your lane, get out here and let's make some money." And they ended up getting clobbered, right? And Denzel's like,
that movie, and oh my God, that's been so long, you making me smile because I forgot how that movie went until you said that.
So he's like, "Hey man, you never asked me, did I play basketball or anything?" And come to find out at the end of the movie, of course, Denzel was a pre-med student, but he never said any of this, right? He just let the white man just assume everything about him, and he let his life get all messed up, just making all these assumptions about Denzel.
Exactly.
Brother D, what's going on with you, man?
Yo, what's up? What's up with you, man? How you doing?
All right, man. Long time no see. Hey, man, what's going on? What do you think about this man that has said this stuff on basically on the internet, and I guess it's getting pushed out there?
I'm really not surprised, because that's how a lot of white people feel when black people try to, I guess, infiltrate their surroundings or whatever. You know, they really don't want us involved in anything that they're doing. But for some reason, we're always trying to be in white spaces. I don't understand that.
Okay, well, let me explain the situation that happened with Anthony Mackie and Monica. They were invited out. Man, they were invited out to participate in that situation. And Anthony Mack, I think, was even a co-host there, and Monica was doing something else as well. So they were invited out to that situation.
Yeah, he was at the last minute asked to co-host the awards because the regular co-host had COVID, and then Monica was asked to show up as a guest because she was performing with some of the country music artists that she's actually, a lot of people don't know it, but Monica is actually working on a country album or just finished a country album. And some of the people that she performed with are on her album. So maybe they was doing a song from her album. I don't know. But yeah, so she was on there, of course, promoting that. But the thing is, I understand your point, D, about, you know, why we are injecting ourselves into these spaces. But the thing is, country music is our space. Country music is our genre as well, just like any other genre. It goes back way into, you know, the 40s and 50s with us with country music. So as far as the genre, we have every right to sing country music just as well as any other race of people do. Now, I understand what you're saying about, you know, we ask, you know, like I know you're talking about like the Oscar situation where, you know, we beg to be in these spaces, and then when things happen, you know, it's like why we act surprised, like, oh, this is happening. But I get that part. But yeah, they were invited, and I think that this is somebody that is definitely just a racist and want to have something to say, and figuring that he can use his white privilege to put black people in their place by saying that, telling us basically to stay in our lane. So
now that Danique Anthony has a very good point here. He says that we can't do country, but they can do rap, reggae, and blues.
exactly that part.
We'll bring them in with open arms if they have the talent.
Well, how about the fact that they've already damn near taken over R&B? I mean, look at what's his name, Robin Thicke. Look at what's the other boy that was with NSYNC?
Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake. I mean,
braids.
You know what I mean? Exactly. So I mean, and it's nothing gets said or done about that. I mean, I heard some people talk about it, but nothing gets done about that. But it's a big thing if we want to step into a ring where they consider that we should not be, because like they think that they are the gatekeepers of all things. Right.
And so the thing is, and see, now I could see why, like I said before, it's a very economic situation for country music, because their fan base is dwindling, and so to get more fans, if they open it up to another group of people, that's a whole nother group of people right there that they can open it up to, and it just makes economic sense, right?
Well, the race of people that spends the most money when it comes to music and entertainment, right? But at one time, country music was the biggest selling genre of music. Now, I don't know if it still is, but at one time it was.
Yeah.
That's how hip hop is now.
I believe hip hop is worldwide. Yeah.
And you know why that is? It's probably because their children are now listening to hip hop music.
Yeah, they don't want to hear that. All right, y'all. Let's finish up with Mr. Patrick Howley.
No disrespect to the Funky Brothers of music. I love Earth, Wind, and Fire, Run DMC, etc. But I mean, like, country music's different. Country music's different. It's not Wakanda.
Okay. What does he mean by that, D? What does he mean? This is not Wakanda.
Wow.
He's just being condescending because he thinks that all black people refer to, like, I guess a great place to be is Wakanda. I don't know. It's very that's that's very messed up to say, but I'll put up past none of these white people when it comes to things like this.
Well, it's very condescending and it's very double talking, right? Because first you say no offense, but then you offend. So miss me with that one. It's like, oh, I like your dress, but you exactly. It's no disrespect, because I like Earth, Wind, and Fire and all the funky boys, or whatever he said, funky something he said. I forgot what Funky Brothers or funk, but yeah. Oh yeah, it's like, it's a dude, like it's an oxymoron. You're using a double negative, like you're saying no offense, but you're offending, and then you're telling us country music is different from what? It's a different genre, but different from what? Are you saying because it's country music, it's white, it's pure, it's better, it's good, it's better than?
Now, this is what
to say that it's different than what, other than another genre of music?
That's what I want to dig into, Patrice. See, a lot of times these people like this, they will use these coded language. They use this coded language, and if we're not paying attention
and breaking it down,
yeah, it'll go right past us, right? And then we'll think, oh man, he didn't mean nothing by that, and then you can get caught in the cross later. Shout out to Doberman, which is actually Rorschach. Shout out to Doberman. Yeah, so we can get caught later thinking, hey, it's no problem. I remember you guys was talking about Chicago I saw the replay this morning, but you guys were talking about Chicago yesterday. And so I remember I used to go to Chicago all the time for different little to watch little martial arts clinics and stuff like that. I used to go out there a lot, and so I was out there one time, right? And so I don't know where I was hungry. I went to go get some gifts. You know how you go on a trip, and so I had my 3 sons and then my wife, and so everybody, I was like, I got to get a gift, right? So I went into this Target, right? But then I was hungry after I did all that shopping. I was hungry, and so there's a Denny's right across the street. Patrice, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about, but there's a Denny's right across the street from this Target, right? So I went across the street to eat at the Denny's. Now, I'm from California, been in California most of my life. That was the first time I'd ever seen like all the white people sitting on one side of the room and everybody else on the other side of the room, right? Because in California, it doesn't work like that. But I was like, man, and nobody was tripping. Everybody was still eating like it was no big deal. And I was like, wow, it's really like this in Chicago, huh?
Yeah, very segregated. Very segregated to this day. It's very segregated. It's a lot of separatism. Chicago have many different little cities and villages per their race. We have a little Italy for the Italians. We have Korean City. We have Chinatown. We had Jewtown, but the Jews are like further north suburbs, the places where the Indian, Pakistanis, and Middle Easterns are. We have a place for the Hispanics, Little Humboldt Park, and then there's, it's a lot of segregation and a lot of separation in Chicago right to this day. Little Lithuanian, we even have that.
Yeah, we do too, right?
Yeah.
In LA, you have all that in LA. You have all that in LA, but everybody will take your money. See,
absolutely.
It's not about, it's not like, hey, look, you do have that, but nobody, like, when you pull up and you might be of another culture, nobody's gonna be looking at you like
they ain't gonna not take your green. I tell you that.
Exactly. That's how it is out here. So that was the first time I've been out there where they say, hey, everybody, you know what I mean? I was like, what? I noticed it right away. Being from LA, I noticed that right away. All right, so
when I was younger, in Chicago, we had, like I said, this place. It was in the lower end of Chicago. It was called Jewtown. It was owned by Jews, and it was a big shopping mall. And we would go there and shop. But the reason why they called it that for short is because you can also Jew them down in prices, or they make you think you Jewing them down in prices. You might want to buy something for $25, and you say, "Well, I ain't got but 20." And it's like, "Oh, I Jewed them down to $20," but you really didn't. Because they only really paid 10 for it. So. Yeah.
But so these type of mentalities, it just was at that time, because I hadn't seen it like firsthand. I knew it was going on. I hadn't seen it firsthand. It was kind of like a shock to actually walk into that type of operation. Now, seeing this man here doing it at the professional level, professional level, it's kind of like, wow, you know what I mean? But that's what it is. And now, do you think anybody was going on that end of it is going to have a problem with it?
Well, let's see if someone from the CMT's Academy speak out on this and see what they have to say, because I don't know if Anthony Mackie spoke out, but I know Monica tweeted something. Like I said, Monica is that girl, from the hood in Atlanta. Like, I figured that her spice will kick in and she will, come back with something. And it was very appropriately said, but she basically let him know, I was invited there and I'm here to stay, and I'm not going anywhere. And if you don't like it, oh well.
Yeah. But it's a thing of, should we say something so our children can see that, hey, man, they don't have to put up with stuff like this. If they hear something that bothers their ears and they feel like it's an insult, they should address it. See, that's the thing.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, if we are not speaking out and saying things on platforms like yours and every chance we get and talking to our children about these type of things, Are we going to leave our children totally blind and oblivion to the fact that this type of stuff still exists in the world? Like, we can't hide everything from our children, because they're going to get out there and they're going to experience some form of prejudice, bigotry, bias, racist people in the world. It just is what it is. It don't stop because more racist people are raising more racist people, and it goes down from generation to generation. So it just didn't stop with us. It happened with our children, and that's going to happen with our children's children, and so on, because that's how the world is. That's why, probably for the most part, in my humble opinion, racism will always exist, because there will always be racists raising other races from generation to generation. So we have to have these conversations with our children and our grandchildren. What if you have your first black grandbaby may want to go into country music?
Yeah.
We have to have these conversations. And this is a genre that not many of us are in, but we absolutely have something to do with the birth of country music in our culture. So, you know, are we gonna just let it go over our head and not have these conversations? Because one day your grandchild may come home and say somebody called her this, somebody said this to her, somebody treated her that way, somebody talked about her hair texture, somebody talked about the way she dressed, somebody talked about her skin tone. Listen, these are things that are real, that is happening to us in 2022. He's prime example of that.
Yeah. I just feel like you said, how do we explain? Because I think the bigger issue, Patrice, is like you said, just the fact that you think you can relegate us to wherever you want us to go. That's you know what I mean? And we don't want our children to think, oh, well, just because they said I'm not supposed to be in computers, or I'm not supposed to be in IT, or whatever, I'm not supposed to be in this field, that I just can't go there. Because we know that that's what happened to Malcolm, right? Malcolm wanted to be a doctor, and the teacher told him, you can't be a doctor. Nobody will go to you. Black people won't even go to you, but you'll make a good carpenter, right? So basically, killed his dreams right there, right?
Exactly. And it's a lot of dream killers in the world, you know, and it may not come from us, but if it may come from our children's teachers in school, it may come from a counselor, it may come from a neighbor, it may come from a friend. Like, there are dream killers that, you know, and other children. And let's be real about, if your children are in public school, children can be cruel to other children.
Yes.
You know, that's why we have things like bullying and things like this that has just went rampant. Is because children are mean to other children. You know, and whether they get it from home and their rearing, or television, or the media, wherever it's coming from, it's a reality that, you know, our children, we had to face, our children had to face, and now our grandchildren are going to have to face. So are we going to act like it doesn't exist in the world? And then when it so happens to us, we so shocked?
Yeah.
No, we got to stop that too and have the conversations.
Yeah. But see, you know what, Patrice, I think people are so, they just don't want to have those conversations because they're so hard to have, right? It's hard to have a conversation with you know, your little kids. So instead of addressing it, they just don't address it, and they hope that it's going to be better, like the ostrich, put your head in the sand type of situation. I hope they'll figure it out, they'll find out. But we got to start having these conversations with them, because they just don't know, right? They haven't seen it as blatantly as we saw it when we were coming up. It was much more blatant, right? It was much more blatant. But now the way they do it now is much more, I wouldn't say subtle, but it's much more covert.
Than it was more overt with us.
Yeah, right. With us, it was straight. I remember I had a business teacher in college, and he used to always come out, and the first thing he would do is say, "Thank God for the WASPs. Thank God for the WASPs that gave us the business climate we got." I mean, he would say stuff like that all the time, right? And us not knowing how to handle stuff like that, it just went right over our heads. I didn't think about it till like 4 or 5 years later. Like, wait a minute.
Exactly. And another reason why I think it's important that we should have the conversations, right, with our children and our grandchildren is because a lot of times by the time it happens and our children and grandchildren experience it, it's 10 times as worse for them as it was for us. The experience. It's to experience something like that is very, very traumatic for people when they first experience any form of racism or prejudice or bigotry, right?
Right.
And I say this as a mom firsthand, from knowing that a long time ago I should have had the talk with my son about the police.
Right.
You know, Brother Clarence, and I didn't until after it happened. But I know it affected my son when he came home as a teenage boy crying with stitches busted up under his arms where police had roughed him up.
Wow.
So the trauma from that affected him and of course affected me. And it made us both have a clearer view of what it was in real time with racist police, right? And profiling and racially profiling young Black men in America, you know? So to see my son come home because he all busted up and crying and bleeding and stitches busted because he fit the description.
Yeah.
Okay? Because he fit the description, because you know they still think we all look alike. Yeah. He fit the description. Yeah. And I was upset with myself. And I was mad that I didn't have the conversation with my young Black son about the police and what to do. And the first thing I did, because I had friends on the police department in Chicago, I called my girlfriend who was a police officer at that time. And I told her what happened. And first thing she said was, "Did you get the name and badge number?"
Right.
And I said, my son was so afraid. He's a teenager, first experience. He did not know what to do. So if we do not have these conversations with our children and our children's children, are we going to wait till they have the traumatic experience to not really know how to handle it or talk or conduct themselves?
Yeah, you got
this is why we have to have them before they happen. Not saying that they're going to happen to everyone, because they're not, but having the conversation prepares them.
Yes.
It prepares them. My son was not prepared for that. He had seen it on TV and the movies and stuff, but he had never experienced anything like that at 15, 16 years old in high school, walking home from outpatient surgery. Never.
Yeah, man. But see, that's the
But
thing.
it changed his view of the police from that point on as a young Black man in America. And that's real.
Yeah. Yeah. I was fortunate. I was fortunate enough to be, both times the police approached my sons, I was right there. And so the first time, my oldest boy was just walking home from school, and he happened to be like maybe two or three houses away from my house. And all of a sudden, so I'm just coming out to see where he's at, because I'm like, he should have been here. He's probably about a half hour late. So I went to the street, and so I saw him coming up the street. Then I see all these police cars, about 3 police cars come up, pull over, and stop him. And so my oldest boy, he's the type where when they grabbed him, he was like, "Get your hands off me! Don't touch me!" This. I told him, I said, "Calm down, man, calm down. Let them do whatever they're doing." And so as I'm getting closer to what's going on, I'm asking one of the officers, "Hey, what's going on?" "Oh, we just checking him out because somebody said something XYZ happened up the street." And so I said, "My son just got out of school." And so they said, "Well, when we get done with him, we'll see if we're gonna let him to you, right?"
Yeah.
And I said, "There's one question you gotta ask. The first question you ask is he under arrest? Is he under arrest?" "No, he's not under arrest." I said,
"Right.
Okay, you have to release him.
Release him. If he's not being detained, release him." Exactly. Do you have probable cause? Like, and even me as a Black mom didn't know. And that set me to have a conversation with my girlfriend to learn a lot of things about what we should say, what our rights are. And the thing about it is, it makes the police even more angry when they know your rights. And when you say something to them about it, they know that you know your rights, and they get angrier, and then they still want to have a problem with you. So sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But after that, I know it changed the course of my son's view of policing, my view of policing, for the rest of our lives. And then the more I saw from a little girl just coming up, so that is why the views and opinions and thoughts are screwed, are towards the way that they are for most Black Americans in, America, when it comes to people of color and the relationship that they have with the police. So if we're not having the conversations when it comes to any form of racism, even in this sense, this is a lesson that if you have a Black child in America, these are the conversations, unfortunately, that Black Americans have to, and people of color have to have with their children.
Yeah. And people like this guy here on this reporter or whatever, they're the ones that make us have to have these conversations. Like we have to have them now because, you guys are saying stuff like this. And if you're saying it, we don't know what you're going to be doing. You know what I mean? So we got to prepare our children for all of that. But I can tell you as a Black man, they will definitely treat you differently when they feel like you know your rights and you know how to express them. They will definitely treat you differently, because if you don't know what you're doing and you just, like I had to tell my oldest boy, get off me, don't touch me, and you doing all of that, and you
right
to them. See, I remember we was getting trained by a police officer one time, and he was telling us how they get down, and he said that how they do it is they'll be hitting you, boom, 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 and you know what they say, Patrice? Stop resisting. Boom.
Yeah, at the same time they beating your ass.
They beat you, right? They telling you stop resisting, right?
Yeah.
You resisting, right? Like they stop resisting, right? That's how they do it, but that's how they train to do it.
That is so true.
And
that is so true.
Unfortunately, when it comes to certain communities, they will take the time to try to be rational with them and try to figure out what's going on before they use violence. But with us, unfortunately we have to have those conversations, especially with the young men, that hey man, this thing could turn violent quickly. These people could turn it, they could do it because it happens a lot. And even though I know there's certain people that's even Black like us, they tied up with the police force, and they always have an excuse why. Well,
exactly.
They don't know what's going on. Yeah, but they don't have that quick to judgment with other communities. So that's why we have to have this conversation with our own children. You know? Yeah,
that's why I say, even unfortunately for the quote unquote good cops are caught up in a bad system. But if you're gonna say, well, it's more good cops than bad cops, and that may be true, but why is the system more lean towards good than it is bad?
Yeah. And
that's food for thought. Now, if it's more good cops than bad cops, then why is the system leaning more towards bad than good? That's because a lot of times the good cops that are caught up in the system can't or won't speak up against the bad cops. And if they do, of course, fear of retaliation and different thing, getting fired. And it's known that has happened to the cops that has spoken up. So that whole blue code of silence thing is a part of that as well, right? It's like I'm a good cop and I wouldn't do it, but I see you doing it and I see it's happening, but I can't really say nothing because if I do, then I'm considered a snitch and I broke the blue code of silence, and now I might not get no backup on the call, or worse, I might get fired. I mean, it just go on and on and on with that, and that's a real thing, right? So, like I said, when even when it's things like this, and this is like blatant, kind of in our face, but indirectly it affects us as a whole, right? And that it didn't happen to us, but then it happened to us, which is it didn't happen to us directly, but it affects us all as a whole indirectly, because if we don't speak out about things like this and speak up and have the conversations, then we're just continually, settling and saying, well, it didn't happen to me, so as long as it don't happen to me. But in a sense it did, because it happened to our culture. He's basically saying, you guys stay in your lane. And who is you guys? You guys is us.
Right.
He's saying to us that we don't belong in country music.
Right. Right. Well, that's the surface thing. The surface, the global thing is we tell you where you go.
Exactly.
Where you go.
Stay in your lane. Your lane is hip hop, R&B, rap, and da 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 da. That's your lane.
Right. And we could tell
the audacity.
Yeah, yeah. But like you said, we had to have these conversations with our children, because they need to know how to respond to stuff like this. You know what I mean? Because it's much less overt than it was back when we were coming up, where somebody would do or say something and you see it's right out there. You can't deny it. Now they got more slicker ways of doing it, like this dude did it here, where he he added his own blog,
using his platform. Yes, right. But look at the influence it has when you have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Look at the influence, and that's why people like them are called influencers, because when you have all these subscribers and followers, they're kind of following your wave. And look at the type of example is being put out here with people that he influenced, right? That are his subscribers. And that's why it's important in our community that we should be aware of the things that we say and we do, because we are in people that have our content creators like yourself and other YouTubers that have create content on their panels. Like what are you influencing? What are you putting out here into the world for our culture and our people? Like, what are you really doing? And it's important. And this is a prime example of white privilege, of him feeling like he have the right and audacity to tell us that we need to stay in our own lanes of genres of music, which when it comes to genres of music, it should be open game for any and all.
Right.
And I want to be clear and say this disclaimer. We're not talking about all white people. Right. Okay. So let me just say that disclaimer. We're talking about the racist, privileged white people that say things like such as what he just said. Because I want to be clear, I have friends in the industry. I have a girlfriend that she was a background singer for like Faith Hill. Sweet people, her and her husband, Tim McGraw. And we know everybody in country music, and that's not the representation of everyone in country music. Right. However, when things like this happen, it has to be called out every time.
Yeah, because the reason why, if you don't say anything, then your silence is going to be seen as complicity, and then if you don't feel that way, then you're gonna be asked to stand up and make a stand about certain things. Just like we as black people, you know what I mean? When we see cops getting killed down there in Dallas, we see these cops getting killed, that we'll stand up and say, hey, you know what, we have issues with the police departments, but we don't want to see no cops getting murdered. We don't want to see that. We just want
wrong is wrong, no matter who's doing it. No matter what race is doing it, wrong is wrong.
Exactly.
But there are things that definitely need to be called out when it comes to race issues. If someone of another race is doing it to someone of another race, then that needs to be called to the carpet. Absolutely.
But we don't try to conflate everybody. All these people do this. All these people do this. All these people do this. No, we're talking about the ones that do it.
Exactly. We know that it's not all. We know that it's some. And that's why I say I got to call that disclaimer and be clear about that, because we're not talking about all.
That's good. And you did the same thing for the police. So we appreciate
that. Absolutely.
That we appreciate.
Absolutely.
That. Now, I love talking to you, Patrice, because you got so much insight. Okay, so what do you think? What kind of conversation should we have? Like, I got a granddaughter. My granddaughter's 4 years old. She doesn't know
Mm-hmm.
nothing about racism, nothing about nothing. Okay, what do you think? Should I approach her at a certain age? I would say probably maybe in another 2 years, maybe to actually sit her down and have a conversation about this type of situation. How
Yeah,
do you do that?
there's a such thing as age of accountability, right?
Hmm.
So to me, when your grandchild or child start to ask you questions regarding race, questions regarding, like sex or any other thing, right? As a parent or a grandparent, then you should sit down and have that conversation, because if it came in their little minds, if it came in their little brains to conjure up, to have the thought to even bring it up, then something has either taken place, or they've seen something, or someone said something, or there's the curiosity that is there in order for them to even mention it, right? And you'll maybe say something like, well, where'd you get that thought from? What made you say that? Where did that thought come from? Did somebody say something to you? Did something happen or something? So for me, it can start there. And then you can kind of weigh it out as far as age of accountability. For me, I know when I started having certain conversations with my son was like around 12, 13ish, when it came to, the stuff like, sex and stuff like that, because, he's going into puberty and things are happening with his body. And, then no, you have to have those conversations, right? But to me, when a child is intelligent enough and have the intellect to come to you to question something that you kind of take you aback, like, wow, what made you say that, or where that thought come from, then have that conversation on the level in which they are, right? Because we know we can't have advanced or intermediate level conversations with beginners, right? So there's a such thing as beginner conversation, intermediate conversation, and advanced conversation. And I think as the children age, that's how you should handle those type of situations.
All right, let me shout out. Hold on one second, Patrice. Let me shout out to Big Rig Slaps. Glad to have you in the building, brother. Shout out to Quantum. Good to see you in the building. And Lucky Marie. What? What? Holy smokes. We got Lucky Marie. Hey, bro. C. Hey, OG. Yeah, good to see you in the building, Lucky. Thank you. Oh, you replied to the email? Okay, thank you. Good to see you. All right, so I'll hit you back in a little while, Lucky. All right, so we want to have these conversations. Now I'm gonna put it out there for those of us that have sons. If you have a son out there, Big Rig, you know what I'm talking about. You got a son out there, man. You got to really start thinking about when you're gonna have these conversations, because if they start asking you questions, now you're gonna say, okay, well, like Patrice was saying, once they start bringing it to you, now you're gonna have to respond. You're gonna have to respond, right? So, but we got to start having these conversations with these young men. Now, y'all know me. Every Sunday I do the Rescuing Black Boys, right? I tell y'all all the time, 3rd grade, we need to start pushing math and science on these young men in 3rd grade. After that, maybe we start talking to them about life skills. But math and science, 3rd grade. 4th grade is too late. I showed you guys the numbers. Of 4th grade boys of different races and cultures. And black boys are the lowest in math and science and almost everything. They're the lowest, right? So we got to fix that. And the government is not coming to fix that. We got to fix that as black men and women and those of us that want to see our children do better. Okay? All right, so this is a conversation we was having about this man here. He let's listen to it one last time, Patrice. Let's listen
Yes.
to it one time so we can give people that just popped in some info.
This award show was really kind of a train wreck. There was a check.
Okay, so let me set him up. He's talking about the Country Music Awards and the CMT Awards, and he is upset that Anthony Mackie and Monica were actually participating in the award ceremony. Now he's gonna go into it, and he's gonna throw a couple of different jabs out there.
Chick who was co-hosting it, and they said that she tested positive for the Rona. So let's take a look. Last night,
I know all of you were
I don't know who this black guy is who's hosting it. It's supposed to be country music. No offense. I mean, y'all have hip hop and basketball. You know what I mean? It's like, just fly with your flock, bro. Not against you, but you're up here being like, the melanated people invented country music.
At the CMT,
We was making country music in Wakanda before Johnny Cash and Merle Haggard done stole the black man's country music. It's like, all right, bro. It's so angry. There were so many black people there, sorry to say, but like so many black celebrities who have nothing to do with country music. And it's like,
stop it right there, bro, Clam.
Disrespect to
all right.
Now, did you hear him say so angry?
That's what I didn't see him be angry at all.
Exactly. He was telling a joke, but do you see how we get, listen. and this is the thing that kills me, is because we do this to each other because we see them do it to us. So the first thing we do is get out your feelings. Why are you so angry? You're the angry black woman. Now, where do you see Anthony Mackie angry anywhere on that stage as he's telling jokes as the host of the Country Music Awards? And listen to what he said. So angry.
Yeah. And I didn't see that. As a matter of fact, I saw him in a nice suit, and he was very, he was very entertaining. You know what I mean, as far as I could see. But where was the anger at?
Exactly.
Okay, so let me ask you a question, sister. Why do you think that was brought up? Why did he think that he felt the need to bring that up? Because see, I'm about the coded messages. What message was being sent by saying that he was angry when he clearly wasn't? But
exactly. Listen, we just had an incident, right, with the Oscars, right? That was a bad portrayal for our culture. Now, to hear a non-black man say that about a black man is a stereotypical statement that they make because they are trying to push a narrative, and they have agenda to push, thinking to want to say that every black man and woman are angry people. I'm so glad that we are dissecting this video and debunking it to an extent. Is because people need to pay attention to content and to words that are being said about us in the proper content in which they are saying it. Pay attention and listen. Now, why in the world would he say that Anthony Mackie is mad when it's clearly that he is not mad?
That's a great question. That's a great question. Patrice, when you gotta give me an answer. What is? Why?
I just said it's the typical, stereotypical ideology that a lot of white racist people have towards black people. They think that mostly, if not all, black people, men and women, are just angry people. So that's why it kills me, and we get that. We get that from them. Why are you so angry? Get out your feelings. Oh my God.
But what is to be accomplished, Patrice? See, if I tell everybody that, let's say the roles were reversed. We're at the Source Awards, and this guy shows up, and I go, oh, he's so angry, right? He comes out and he's, hosting the Source Awards, and I say he's angry. What am I trying to?
Or what if we said, "Oh my God, he's so scared. He around all these black people. Look at him. He's so scared. Look at it. He's swallowing. He taking big lumps of throat, like he about to. He's sweating. He pouring sweat. He's so scared. He around all these You know, now would that be would that be not us stereotyping him as a
Of course,
white person who's afraid to be around black people?
of course.
That's exactly what he is doing, okay, as a content creator, is pushing a narrative that and listen, he's saying that about a black man,
Yes.
which is already stereotypically thought of by lots of people, that black men are angry and you should be afraid of them. Woo, you should be afraid of them. When they walking down the street, you should get on the other side and walk.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a narrative. It's an agenda that they push to make people think that we are the bad people.
But
And he's the one sitting here saying all this shit
hey,
about us.
But do you think, Patrice, the goal is to get them, those of them that can do business with us, to not do business with us because of that issue? Like, what is the end goal of trying to do that? Because I don't believe it's just to say it, just to say it. It's probably an end goal in there. Is it to not to tell the other people that's kind of on the fence that, hey, don't do business with these people because they're gonna get mad at you or whatever, right?
Absolutely. Don't do business with them. Don't let them in our space. Don't let them take over our genre. Don't let them in our industry. Don't invite them to the awards to host anymore. You know, don't have them to come and perform anymore because they are angry people. They are bad people, big bad people. Yes, that is the narrative that is being pushed and perpetuated. Absolutely, it is. That's why I say we have to pay attention in which the content people say things about us. They say things about our culture. They say things about our race. We are breaking this down, bro, Clarence, and I'm glad because we need to listen to everything closely that he is saying about this black man and about Monica, that black woman.
Yeah. Because they did nothing to deserve the way he treated
Absolutely
them.
Nothing.
Shout out to Mr. Real Estate. Glad to have you in the building, my brother. All right, so let's see. Let's can we play the rest of it, Patrice?
Absolutely.
Okay. So here we are. Here we go.
To the funky brothers of music, I love Earth, Wind, and Fire, Run DMC, etc. But I mean, like, country music's different.
Okay, stop right there. Now we keep trying to get to a good definition of different, right? Me and you, both of us are trying to find this definition of different. What is so different about country music? It's just music. It's just a genre of music. But
it's a different genre.
But Patrice.
But we know that. But the way he's perpetuating it is it's a white genre. It's pure. It's don't come over here with that trouble. Don't come over here with that drama. Don't come over here with that toxicity.
I got you now. Okay, I got you. So it's different in terms of we're good.
We're different. Exactly. Yeah, that part.
You're bad black people. Don't bring that drama over here. Okay.
Yeah.
As long as somebody explain it to me, I can understand what's going on. See, I just didn't know what was going on before. Okay. So now I got it. So this is good. Now remember, this man writes for a organization called rightwingwatch.org. Rightwingwatch.org. If you go to the website, you can see that it is primarily looks like it's a Aryan organization, right? It's built to what's the word I want to support Aryan situations over there, right? No problem. They should have a place where they can huddle up. Everybody should have a place where they can huddle up. So that's no problem. The problem is like we were talking before, when they start sending arrows over here for no reason, then that's where there's the issue, right? Okay, so let's finish it off.
All right.
Country music's different. It's not Wakanda.
Okay. So at the last minute, he says country music is different. It's not Wakanda. We got to break that apart, Patrice. Okay, so you said already that country music is different. We don't want you bad black people over here creating all of this strife over here in country music, it's not like Wakanda. I don't know. I didn't see a lot of strife in Wakanda. I didn't see it.
But that part, bro, Clarence, mean country music is predominantly white. It's pure. Wakanda is all black. So it's different. We're different. We're different from you all. Listen, you got to listen. You got to have that third eye. You have to watch with the third eye, and you have to listen with the third ear. Seriously. You have to listen with the spiritual eye and ear and break it down in its proper content of what that man is saying. What he's saying is country music is white,
okay,
and your other stuff over there, it's black. So you guys need to stay over there in your lane with the all black stuff, and we'll take care of this over here with the all white stuff, where it's predominantly white. Because we don't want Wakanda over here.
Okay.
This is not Wakanda. Country is not Wakanda.
Yeah. Let me give you the underlying current. Our stuff is better than yours.
Yeah.
Our stuff is better.
That part too.
We don't want you to make our stuff bad by coming over here. But our stuff is better.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it's pure, it's cleaner. We don't have all that drama. Now, if you guys start coming over here, next thing you know, it's going to be drama over here, just like it's drama over there in you guys' situation over there.
Exactly.
Now, the reference, I don't get the reference of Wakanda because Wakanda was supposed to be a very civilized situation and very advanced situation. So why would you say this is not Wakanda, which Wakanda is like was a advanced situation?
Well, he's referencing that via color. He's strictly referencing that via Wakanda is black, country is white. That's what I got out of that.
Okay.
That's absolutely what I got out of that, bro, Clarence.
Okay. Now, do you think that it was meant as a joke, or do you think that it was meant to pass a subliminal message to the readers or the people that follow this man that, hey, we gotta get on our post and stop inviting black people into our sacred realms so that we can keep it pure?
I absolutely think it was a subliminal message he was trying to say to the predominantly Caucasian country fans, his subscribers, and other people in general that are of the Caucasian persuasion that love country music. But until his obviously oblivions that it is a lot of Black people and people of color that love country music as well. So, again, it was subliminal. It was one of them crack shots. He was shade. He was throwing a little shade there.
And there's some things that sometimes people will try to associate with white people that make it seem like they're the ones that kind of are the ones that came up with it. For example, I remember back in the day when I was going to school, if a person talked really they talked real clear, and they didn't have that ghetto twang to when they talked, then the people would tease them and say, "You talking like you white." And if they've studied and they read, they say, "Oh, you act like you white because you reading your books and stuff."
Mm-hmm.
And then even white people would say the same thing. They would say, "Hey, you acting like you white," but reading and education and intellect has nothing to do with being white.
Absolutely. Listen, just speaking proper grammar and pronouncing your words correctly and your enunciation has none of that has nothing to do with whether you're trying to talk or sound white. You're just talking proper English.
Exactly.
Period. And you're enunciating your words and things of that nature. So yeah.
Exactly. And so I speak about this on Sundays a lot of times, because what happens with, I don't know if it happens with, you could tell me if it happens with young women, but it happens with young black men. What happens with young black men is the pack starts separating in the third grade, right? When you have young black boys, they get into kindergarten, they all about the same. You really can't see what you got, pretty much, unless somebody's very, very intelligent. You really don't see what you got yet. First grade, same thing. Second grade, about the third grade, that's when the pack starts separating, right? And so my thing is, what happens is the boys in particular, the boys that do their homework and get good grades, they get ostracized. It's the craziest thing you ever seen in your life. They get ostracized, right? There was a movie, I forgot the name of the movie, but it was a movie about the guy that was out here at Garfield High, and Mexican dude. He went back to his school, and he had a gangbanger in his class, and the gangbanger was the best math student he had in the class. But he went to him, Edward James Moses. Edward James.
Yeah. I know the movie you're talking about.
I think
Stand and Deliver. I think it's Stand and Deliver. Yeah.
Okay. So the gangbanger dude went to him and said, "I cannot be seen carrying books. So can I have a set for the house and a set for here?" And he did that because he was gonna get ostracized, right, by his homeboys, right? And so the same thing happens with young black men. They get ostracized, right? Because there's some of them that their masculinity is kicking in so much, it's hard for them to accept authority. I'm talking about young black men, because they have so much testosterone. They have the most testosterone of all young men, black men, right? So black boys. And so they have so much testosterone, sometimes it's difficult for them to receive authority and operate on authority. You have to handle them a certain way. And so when they don't have that authority, so because they had the problems with authority, they don't do their homework like they're supposed to. They don't do it. And so what they'll do is they'll ostracize the brothers that are doing it. And it's an unfortunate situation. They'll start ostracizing those brothers. And they tell them, "Oh, you talk white, you act white, you doing it," just because they're doing their work. But it has nothing to do with being white, right? It has nothing to do with right? Because we taught white people how to read. We taught them how to read. We taught them how to cook. We taught them how to do all this stuff, right? But that's the way, because of the limited amount of information we got, sometimes we'll say that to each other. And so my point is, we shouldn't even look at it like this is about being white or this is about being black. It's about the best thing for you as a person to be the best person you can be, the best version of yourself. Now, here's the important part, Patrice, without stepping on somebody else. I don't have to step on you to be the best version of myself. And if I got to step on you so that I can be a best version of myself, then that's not being really the best version of myself, because I should be able to stand as a man on my own. I shouldn't have to step on somebody with doing that. But we see that in these YouTube streets all the time, right?
Listen, Linda, listen.
You sound like you know a little something about that, sis.
Oh, do I? Yeah, I digress, though. I digress.
But the point is, we gotta teach our children, and that's why it's good to see somebody from the female side like yourself saying it, and then myself as a male saying it, because we can blend all of that experience together and try to give some messages out. You see me, Patrice, you see what I mostly try to do is try to just give some solutions, put the word out, and try to help somebody. I know we only got 7 people here, right? But somebody, right?
Yeah, because at the end of this, we gonna have the solution, right? At the end of this, right? There's the moral to this story.
That's what I'm about to ask you now. That's what I'm about to ask you now because I know you got some things to do. So I'm about to ask you, what can we do about something like this? What should we do as concerned people? What should we do about a situation like this? Is this a big enough situation where we should rally the troops around, or what should be done? Should we just have a conversation with our children or our families, or what should we do?
I think we should definitely, it's, like they say, charity begins at home. I think having the conversations at home, like I said, with our children, our grandchildren, or even, having talking to your adult children, and even asking them, hey, are you having the conversations with, with your kids about this and that and the other? What are some of the things they saying to you that happens in school? What are they bringing to you? What kind of questions, you know, do they have for you that you feel that it's kind of odd that they bringing it to you at this day and age, that's something they could be talking about that's going on, witnesses with somebody else at school, right? Because for the most part, we know that our children are at school more than they are with us, because especially if you work as a parent, your
Right.
children are at school 8, 9 hours a day, whatever, while you at work. Some kids go to after school type of programs or whatever. So, and they're around more kids and other adults that is not you and your husband or your spouse or whatever. So what type of conversation? Sometimes when your kids say things to you, don't just brush it off and say, yeah, that's the reason or whatever. Get deeper into the conversation and find out why they asking that, because a lot of times it be because of something that they hearing or they're seeing at school, or something happening to someone else, right? So that's definitely the number one, is to have the conversation. And then, yeah, you have,
What you say, Patrice?
sorry about that phone ring. If you have platforms, like yours and other people tweet, Facebook, Instagram, any type of thing where you can have a platform where you can say that things like this should not be happening at this day and age in any genre of music, then yeah, you need to have those conversations and you need to be tweeting these things out. I'm in the industry, so I know that when I saw this, it's definitely something that I said, okay, I got to get and I got to tweet about this. And I tweeted, look, is this what we doing in 2022? Is this what we're allowing, in all of these, award type of ceremonies? Because like Bro D said, we want to be in these spaces, but when the things happen, then we want to act like we so shocked, and we don't want to say anything. So are we either going to speak up about these things, or either we just going to keep it moving, create our own spaces like award shows and different things, where we won't have to always ask, can y'all please tell them to stop saying this? Can y'all please tell them to stop doing this? Can y'all please tell them to stop treating us this way? Can y'all please? Because we're going to have to keep speaking out on these type of things. Or are you just going to let it fly and say, as long as it didn't affect me directly, I ain't gonna worry about it? Because what don't affect you directly affects us as a whole indirectly.
Right, right. Let me check the chat. Real quick. All right. Okay. So, what should we? Well, let me ask it this way. As Black people, should we? Is this something we should get? Like, in other words, I don't want us to get really super emotional. I'd rather us handle things not in a emotional. If we're gonna respond, let's think about our response. Let's think about what we're trying to accomplish, and then let's move out. Kind of like you guys do in ADOS and how you guys the FBA does. You think about it and then you move out, right? By the way, by the way, for the people that don't know what ADOS is, they don't know what FBA is, because sometimes we'll assume that everybody knows what all those things are. Since you are one of the behind the scenes people with both of those situations, Can you explain to us what FBA and ADOS is?
FBA is Foundational Black Americans, right? So that's Black people that who are probably have some ancestry that were slaves and brought over here on the transatlantic slave trade through cattle slavery, as is ADOS. ADOS stands for American Descendants of Slaves, which means you are probably a descendant of slaves if you are Black in America, for the most part. Not all, some, but majority. I'll say that. And if you know anything about your lineage or your heritage, you've done any research on that, and it goes back to Africa, and found out that you are a descendant of slaves, then yeah, that's what ADOS movement is about, trying to get reparations for chattel slavery here in America, because we know that there are many institutions that are still benefiting off the backs of slaves, right?
Right.
Right to this day, have become very, very wealthy and able to pass their generational wealth on to their juniors, seniors, the third, the fourth generations of their children. And because of that, we don't have that luxury, right?
Right.
So so for all the atrocities that was done during the transatlantic slave trade and chattel slavery, Reconstruction, Jim Crow, Civil Rights Movement, all of that, we're asking. ADOS is fighting for reparations. So that's what that means.
Okay, because like I said, sometimes people think that the ADOS and the FBA community is trying to split things up or make things up, but you guys are just, just the way I see it, you guys are just trying to get the people that are owed something what they're owed, right? And
Mm-hmm.
if you're owed, come on and get in this line. If you're not owed, then this ain't the line for you, right? I mean,
Exactly. Exactly.
right?
I mean, it's a debt, that the 40 acres and a mule was never paid. It was never given. It was actually given to the slave master that it had enslaved them. So when they had to go back to work for the slave master, then they had to become sharecroppers and get paid pennies on the dollar for many, many years. And we're not that far removed from that, because my parents were sharecroppers. My mom and dad picked cotton in Mississippi. So when people say things like that, we have to know that we went through 400 years, plus another 100 years, plus another 50 years, plus Reconstruction, plus Jim Crow, plus the Civil Rights Movement. And it seems like a lot, but we're really not that far removed from it. And if anybody got a grandparent or great grandparent, that's not that far removed from it, right? You probably have heard stories. Your grandparents or great grandparents probably have shared stories past some of your history down as Black Americans, and how your people got here, how you got over here in America. So yeah, and Quantum, I definitely want to respond. Absolutely right. I did hear Kate Michelle say she comes from country background, because I think she's from Memphis, Tennessee, and she's a huge country fan and country lover, and I think she does have a country album either out or coming out. And as I said, I know that Monica, the singer Monica out of Atlanta, she's definitely getting ready to drop a country album, and that was her whole purpose of being at the Country Music Awards, as was other people like Brother Anthony, who was asked to host at the last minute, and some other people that probably just came because they love country music or came to support a fellow artist, right? For whatever the reason it is, it shouldn't even matter. We are people. We belong in any genre that we very well want to be in.
Right.
That genre is our genre too. So, it should not be anyone taking any ownership of any particular genre when it comes to that. Because if they want to get down to the nitty-gritty of it, hell yeah, they stole that too. So let's be real. Let's be real. So like how deep do dude want to go? Like, you really don't want the smoke, because some historian will definitely give you the smoke.
Yeah.
They would have to give you the smoke and tell you the history of Black people in all forms of the music, when it comes to way back in an indigenous Native American music, African music, all of that country music from country and western. There were black cowboys. There were black country people singing country music. Like, come on, you know? So, like I said, when it's a condescending tone that you're using and you're pushing a narrative and you're saying subliminal racist things, like telling us to stay in our lane and, you know, and what's ours, meaning white people. Like, no, you're incorrect. And if you want to smoke, the correct historian will check you on that.
Yeah. All right, Patrice. Excuse me. All right, Patrice. What is the takeaway from this? What do we as a black people take away from this situation? What can we use from this situation to improve or move forward or do something better?
That's a great question, bro, Clarence. For me personally, I'll tell you what I took away. Then I would like to say that I hope that if everybody that heard that video, and I think you probably should play it again.
Okay.
Really, and that's the thing. You have to really listen with your third eye, your third ear, and hear, look with your third eye and hear with your third ear, because that's the spiritual side of you. That's that side that convicts you. That's that side that you hear things in a proper content when you just really dissect it. And if you heard what I heard, what I take out of it is that these things are still happening in 2022. What make us think that they're not going to continue to happen? So what are we going to do? Are we going to continue to stand by idle and not speak up and not say anything? Or are we going to have the conversations? Are we going to have the conversations? And we have to have the conversations in our culture. It's just real. I know, as much as we've been talking about police brutality and reform and all these things on channels, like, I'm wondering if people really having conversations with their black boys and girls about it, because it's a real thing. Don't wait until you get pulled over, or your son or daughter get pulled over. Don't wait till they experience something at school. Don't wait till they call you and tell you something happened on their job. Don't wait until, like, have the conversations if you are a black family in America. And it just is what it is. And it's sad but true. But guys like him are prime examples of that, because our children are on social media. We don't, and a lot of them are not monitored. So when their ears hear certain things and when their eyes see certain things, they're going to come to you with the questions.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Patrice, I'm going to play it one more time so we can get the full crux of the matter here.
This
bro Clarence, did you read Monica's tweet response to him?
No, but I'll look it up right now.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Let's see.
Train wreck. There was a chick who was co-hosting it, and they said that she tested positive for the Rona. So let's take a look. Last night,
I know all of you were
I don't know who this black guy is who's hosting it. It's supposed to be country music. No offense. I mean, y'all have hip hop, basketball. You know what I mean? It's like, just fly with your flock, bro. Not against you, but you're up here being like, the melanated people invented country music.
At the CMT,
We was making country music in Wakanda before Jack Hash and Merle Haggard done stole the black man's country music. It's like, all right, bro. It's so angry. There were so many black people there, sorry to say, but like so many black celebrities who have nothing to do with country music. And it's like, why? Disrespect to the funky brothers of music. I love Earth, Wind, and Fire, Run DMC, etc. But I mean, like, country music's different. Country music's different. It's not Wakanda.
Oh my Mike.
Yeah, like the whole, you know, it's not hip hop, it's not basketball. So basically he's putting us only in music and sports. It's saying, you know, that's where black people need to stay. That's y'all lane. Stay there in the entertainment with the music and the sports. That's y'all lane there. You know, like, this is not Wakanda. Yeah.
This is ridiculous. I'm trying to find it now. The actual tweet. Here we go. Here's this.
And I want to say shout out to Monica. You know, salute to that sister for, you know, being one of the artists that spoke out on it and say, look, we were invited, we here, we performing, we supporting, and we ain't going nowhere. Get used to it, basically.
Okay. I guess it says Monica no doubt got one of this clip and responded via her Instagram account. Let me share that with you guys. Let me share my screen with you guys so you can see it. Let's see. We can read it together. All right. It says, what's this? Let's gotta get rid of this. Okay, it says Monica no doubt got wind of this video clip and responded via her Instagram account. I've never been more motivated. Patrick Howley, although your feelings are likely shared by some, it's not by the masses. I have an all-star legendary team of true country artists that are currently working with me that would beg to differ. Because of the genuine hearts of Leslie Frammy and the CMT, I shared the stage with Jamie Allen and Little Big Town. This was the first of many times that you will see me. I see you caught that my skin is melanated, but you missed that it was tough. I'm rooted in the word and built to last. See you soon, or should I say, welcome to Wakanda. Gracefully bows with Anthony Mack. Anthony Mackie. Open roads coming soon. NBA.
I love it. I love it. I love it. She said, welcome to Wakanda, as is Wakanda is here. Wakanda is here and Wakanda is staying here in this space. Like it or lump it.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, a lot of these guys, man, they just think that they're just, they can tell everybody where to go and where not to go. And we need to, like you said, impress upon our children. You go where you want to go. This world is yours as well. And you can go where you want to go, do what you want to do. If you want to be involved in country music, be involved in country music. They don't have no problem getting into rap music or R&B or whatever, right? And we don't want them to have a problem. But if we're not gonna give you a problem, don't give us a problem, right?
Exactly. Right, don't start none, won't be none, right?
All right, Patrice. Well, I'm gonna get some closing remarks from you, because I know you have a busy schedule, so I know I don't want to keep you too long. I appreciate you camming up. Oh my
God. I cammed up for you, bro.
My birthday is Sunday. I got an early birthday present. I appreciate it.
Well, happy birthday, bro, and many, many more miracles and blessings.
Thank you. And right back at you, sis. Right back at you. All right.
Thank
so
you.
Give me some closing remarks, sis, some things that we can do, some thoughts from OG Patrice about how we can move forward from this situation.
Yeah, moving forward is definitely, I would say, get behind Monica and people like her that are tweeting out these things and showing your support and saying, thank you, sis, for speaking out and stepping up, and I support you and, salute you, because we have to do it for the culture. We have to do it, definitely stand up for what's right when a wrong is being done, and when somebody is blatantly throwing out racial undertones subliminally to our race of people. We should not just stand by idle and not say anything, and everything in its proper content, because I love the way she put it. I love the way she handled it. I thought she was very professional, and at the same time she gave a little low-key undertone shade with a little low-key undertone of I'm that girl, I'm that girl from the hood in Atlanta. At the same time, I'm Wakanda and I'm here. So, just standing by that and standing on that and speaking out and speaking up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tag her from her tweet, and I'm going to say, thank you. I support and salute you for standing up and saying that, just as a fellow artist. But yeah, when things like this happen, guys, we definitely got to call it out. We got to talk about it. We got to have the conversations. We got to talk about it to our children and our grandchildren, because it's not going to stop. Unfortunately, it's been hundreds and hundreds of years, and it's just unfortunately that racism still exists and probably going to exist long after we are all gone. Because, like I said, racists raise other races. It's just the way of the world. It's just the way it is, and it's a non-cycle, vicious cycle that unfortunately that still continue to perpetuate America. And it was built on that, and it's the very fiber of that for a long, long time. And but if we are not continuing to fight and continuing to speak out and speak up on these things, then we just idle. We stand by idly and say nothing. Then we're guilty with by being complacent in it, in my humble opinion, and it's just my humble opinion. But that's all I have to say, and I digress.
Yeah, it's no problem, Patrice. I'm gonna bring you down. Don't go nowhere, okay? Because I want
Okay.
to holler at you in a few minutes, okay? So don't
All
go
right.
down. All right. Wow. Wow. OG Patrice came through. Doggone it, she left. That's okay. I got a number. I'll text her. But OG Patrice came through. She's the one. Okay, Patrice, I see you. Hold on, hold tight. So OG Patrice came through, cammed up and everything. Man, birthday present. Shout out, brother Clarence. You made it to 54, and you got OG Patrice to cam up. Shout out to me. Shout out to me. Well, what do y'all think? Was this man racist? What do you think? Do you agree with Patrice? You don't agree with her? I agree with her. I mean, but you don't have to agree with her because I do. Maybe maybe you guys, don't agree with her. At least tell us why you don't agree with her. But, I don't. She made the most sense, right? When stuff like this happens, this is my advice. Do something. Either talk to your children about it, tweet about it, say something, do something. The reason why a lot of times we have a lot of this stuff, and shout out to JP. I forgot to shout you out, JP. Shout out to JP, the aspiring matriarch. If you see something happen like this, we gotta start learning how to move as a group. We see our Jewish counterparts, they move as a group. Our Asian counterparts, they move as a group. Everybody moves as a group. They might not individually agree with each other on every particular thing, right? But when they see something happen that's affecting their whole community, they move as a group. And that's what we have to learn how to do. We got to put down the self-hatred and the hatred for other people, and we got to start saying, okay, this is going to affect all of us. Whether you Christian and I'm Muslim, or whether you agnostic and whatever, this issue is going to affect us all. Let's move out together on this issue. All right. OG Patrice came through. Solid performance. Hit a couple of them out of the park. Right? All you guys in the chat, solid performance. Appreciate you guys coming through. And go and please share it, and so people can see the replay. Because the reason why I like Patrice to come on is because Patrice can articulate her position, and she don't look like this mad black person that's got this issue. She just articulates the situation, and I like that. I want people to see that when they come over here thinking that, oh, we're going to be hollering and screaming and jumping up and down, and they see how smoothly she articulated the situation. That's a whole nother thing. They're going to say, wait a minute, I thought they were supposed to be mad. And then the guy's going to look crazy. Anyway, we will be back here on maybe tomorrow, definitely on Sunday. It's my birthday, but I'll be here. I'll be in the house on Sunday. Probably won't have as long as the stream. Probably have a short one like this one, but I'll still be in here. Because we got work to do, right? We got work to do. So anyway, thank you all of you guys for coming in on a Friday. This is an impromptu, and Patrice hit me up and said, "Hey man, why don't you guys do something on this one?" And so I said, you're right. Let's do it. Let's do it. Don't think this is the last time you're gonna see Patrice. She got some other stuff she want to talk about. So, and I'm gonna give it a forum to talk about it. So anyway, we'll see y'all on Sunday, probably maybe tomorrow, but definitely on Sunday. All right. Until then, see y'all later. Thank you.